In the world of football, every journey has its heroes, and one of our heroes in recent times have been Otto Addo, the second Ghanaian to qualify the Blasters of Ghana to a World Cup, and the GFA says they want to get him back as our Black Stars head coach. In this video, I'll talk to you about the positives of hiring Otto Addo and the negatives of hiring Otto Addo as our senior head coach. So if you're interested, let's get started now, guys. Otto Addo's last game for the Blasters of Ghana was the game against Uruguay, where the Blasters of Ghana lost 2-0. In that game, I remember Mohamed Kudus won as a penalty kick where Andre Ayew missed it. And I mean, that game, I'm sure after the penalty miss, had a psychological effect on the Black Star players, and they ended up losing that game. But before that game, Ghana played against South Korea and we won 3-2. The manner in which we were about to draw that game was something that really worried me. In charge as head coach was Otto Addo. And for me, a coach that was said to be a player development coach or a player scout coach at Dortmund, for him to go into the game and beat an European coach, Paulo Bento, and beat him 3-2 against Portugal, against South Korea, I mean, it left me really impressed. When he picked the Blasters coaching job, many of us thought we weren't going to do much because we had been to the AFCON. And I mean, it was really in shambles. And he picked the team up and he made sure Ghana Blasters found a way to qualify to the World Cup. If I look at him as a coach, I think he's just a perfect fit for the Blasters of Ghana because he's done it before. And if you check his track record, he's a coach that really made sure the Blasters of Ghana played attractive brand of football. We may not have played very good football against the likes of Portugal and the likes of Uruguay, but these are better footballing nations than us. Portugal is a better footballing nation than Ghana. I mean, if you check the quality of players they have, and a team like Uruguay, they are a better footballing nation than Ghana. So I mean, he went into that game with a mindset that we should just try and control the games, and we ended up playing very well. What am I saying? He's tactically very good. So one positive that we will learn from him is that when we give him the job, he will probably not go into games like games against Comoros, games against Madagascar, games against these minnows in Africa, and he will go and defend. He will make sure he will play something attractive. And I remember he was one of the coaches that brought this Baba Idusu trying to come into the defense line and receive the ball and distribute the pass, and we're playing very good football. You know what? Ghana has struggled to beat Madagascar under Chris Hughton, but now he beat Madagascar with Cheeky East 3-0. And I remember we went to Central African Republic where he was trying to give other players a chance, and we drew 1-1. For me, I think he's just the perfect man because when it comes to knowing the squad now, the squad quality, the squad balance, I mean, no coach knows the team better now because he's been with the team since 2021, you know, and he's been instrumental. I mean, it's just that Otto Addo's problem was he just didn't want to give us the commitment to stay with the team. Trust me, if we give Otto Addo the coaching job, Ghana Blasters will qualify to the World Cup in United States. This is an easy job for him, trust me. He'll be Mali. He's that tactically good. He'll be Comoros. I mean, I'm telling you, watch him very well. Against Central African Republic, he used Ghana's second side. Ghana's second side went in and got a draw. I mean, so I don't understand when he has all these Mohamed Kudus, how he cannot play very well. He will. With his first 11, he will qualify. Ghana will qualify. Trust me. One of the things is when Milovan Rajevac was appointed as the head coach of the Black Stars, he was one of the assistants. You see, so he knows this current pool of players. He knows them. I think when he's given the job for a second time, he will probably improve certain things that he did not do well. And for me, from where I sit, I really don't see what he did wrong going to the games. I mean, from what I see, and I'm talking as someone who was Kusiapia as the head coach of the Blasters of Ghana, and we weren't able to be any European coach. I mean, Kusiapia struggled, you get it. So let's try and get Otto Addo on board. I mean, I think he's the best man for the job. Even though he's lived in Germany all his life, Otto Addo understands Ghana football. Otto Addo has been with Ghana football. I mean, I remember watching him in 2006 at the World Cup for the Blasters of Ghana. I think in a game against United States. He played that game. He's a Ghanaian player. It's just that he's not popular in the ears of many Ghanaians because, I mean, in his days he had the likes of Steven Appiah, the likes of Michael Essien, the likes of Lai Kinsane. So it doesn't really have like this familiarity with a lot of Ghanaians. But I think Otto Addo as a person, Otto Addo as a coach, if we give him the Blasters job, Ghana will qualify to the World Cup with cheeky ease. This thing, you can mark it somewhere. If you watch a video on how Gideon Mensah praises Otto Addo's tactical abilities, he was like, wow, this is a Ghanaian coach. When he came in the game against Nigeria, I mean, we all thought we were not going to qualify. And how he put certain things in place to make sure Ghana qualified is something that really beats my mind. Because I remember even in the game at Nigeria, the first half, Ghana, I think it was 1-1 all. And Osimhen was dragging Ghana. Osimhen was giving us fire. Osimhen was making sure Ghana Black Stars will not qualify. And the sort of substitutions he made, the quality of the substitutions to try and make sure we contain Nigeria. Look, we haven't seen that in a long time, and that was what we're blaming Chris Hughton for. Chris Hughton wasn't able to make one good selection or one good change right. He couldn't make any substitution right. And this is what we have in our young man, a young man who has trained the likes of Jude Bellingham, trained the likes of Erling Haaland, trained the likes of Jadon Sancho, trained all these as a Ghanaian. If you told me he's a trainer scout, you are not being fair to him because he's a coach. He's just not the main head coach at Dortmund. But he tells you that if you give him the chance, he will bring us results. Where we are now, we need a good coach. No matter how bad our FA is, if we're able to get a good coach, the team will progress. I think I watched a video where Atabogu and our general man, Atabogu went to ask him a question when he came back as our senior head coach for the interim basis. And when he came back, Atabogu asked him a question about a certain injury, and the kind of answer he gave, I think I wasn't really convinced. I mean, he looks like he doesn't really, for me, he has a bit of a communication gap. And I think Daniel Quantin, a journalist at Joy FM, to ask him a question about how he dropped out Jose Pinto, and he was saying that these are issues of the home, and I think for me, he has a problem with his communication, and he has to get better with communicating with journalists and be a bit calmer when it comes to. That's one of the things I've noticed. That's two. Maybe the challenges he will have now is, club football is not the same as national team job, and he really hasn't had a coaching job on his own. Like that is Onuane Juma. No, he hasn't really done that. The only time he had his own job was when he coached Ghana Black Stars to the World Cup on interim basis, and he did. For me, he did well. You get it. So transitioning from that job to now is something that's going to be a difficult task for him. And the third thing is how he's going to deal with the GF on a permanent basis. So when he was interim coach, he was just dealing with the GFA. I mean, on interim basis, and like I don't know how he managed it. So now is he going to succumb to the control from the GFA, or he's going to work hand in hand with them, or he's just going to offer different alternatives? One thing about him too is Otto Addo was the coach that brought us the likes of Afine Jan, the likes of all these young boys, Tariq Lamptey, and he has a spool. Otto Addo is him. He has a spool. He can bring them in. You get it. So I think hiring Otto Addo is one of the best things that we can ever do as a country now. As where we are standing now, we are the place where we cannot even win games, and we need a Ghanaian coach to do that. So let's get Otto Addo to be the manager of the Black Stars. In my opinion, pressure from the Ghanaians. Look, Ghanaians, I think one thing we have to understand: coaching is not 1+1. Coaching is not 1+1. That's why it took Mikel Arteta about 2 or 3 years to understand his Arsenal team and play the way he wants them to play. After about maybe playing like 38 different matches in 3 seasons, for him to understand how to play with the Arsenal team. So if we really want to have a good sporting project, a good coaching project, I think that we need to give whoever becomes the coach time. Time is a really important factor. If we bring in heavyweight now, we need time. And any coach who comes in and gets results now is probably just giving us a facade. Like, it's not going to happen, because he needs to build a team from scratch again and give the young players a chance to play for the Black Stars of Ghana. For me, if Otto Addo is going to do this job as a permanent coach and be in Ghana and work very hard for the Black Stars of Ghana, why not? Let's give it to him. A black coach, someone who's experienced like him, coach at the highest level at Dortmund. Why can't he coach Black Stars of Ghana? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Should Otto Addo be the Black Stars head coach? I want to know from you. Thank you for watching. The best yet to come. Bye for now.